Hi there. So, what an awkward place to be in, to desire companionship and connection and to be able to have a safe, healed place to pour my love into, but yet not wanting to allow anyone or anything to love or bond with me. I understand so deeply what happens if something bonds and loves something or someone and is not consciously aware of the process of evolution and the fact that there are times that we just interact with certain situations and people to grow and move forward and not always be in the same space and time. And when people don't realize that and don't carry that understanding into a situation, you really risk hurting people and creating a cycle of events for them in their life. And yes, I understand that each one of us chooses these things, but there are times in the world, and I am one of them, where, there's a person like myself that has a little bit of understanding about these sorts of things, and yet I have, like a best friend that grasps a bit of it, but not it in its entirety. So there are times in our friendship where things are said and or are done and they're perceived differently because we do dwell in different dimensional realities and we perceive things from our level of conscious awareness from our life experiences and how we've processed them. And if for some reason something is said that is not able to be processed in the proper context, then that person ends up left hurt. And that person ends up, in turn, actually hurting themselves more because they create a cycle of patterns and beliefs that create the next part of their reality. And then I understand to such a degree that if my friend is to perceive something from a distorted view, the weight of that confusion can weigh upon me, and not just on a mental playing field, but in the physical realm, because you really cannot cause someone else pain or duress without it in some way or another coming back to you. We can pretend like we can play these games all we want where we can have situations that create emotional triggers and just work through them and be wiser from them. And yes, that is absolutely true. And this is always something that does need to be incorporated into these situations. But there are times where you have to be consciously aware enough to know your responsibility and whether or not you should enter into things that would create any sort of ripple in anyone else's life, let alone your own. I might be able to process things super quickly and understand the divine gem that is within the experience, which I am eternally grateful for. But not everybody has this. And I can see my dear friends sometimes get themselves into kind of a stressful place. And I also understand that that's something that I have to work on within me, because that stressful place also dwells within me. And it's my responsibility to notice that and observe that and see how, yes, that is a beautiful gem that can be taken out of the situation where I can learn a deeper level of understanding and compassion because I've been in that space. But at the same time, we also have to learn at a certain point that that's not how we operate. And there's going to be plenty of times that you're going to be given opportunities to make wiser choices and realize through observing the way things have played out in your past circumstances that at a certain point you should make a different choice. You should not be unconscious enough to create situations where those types of things take place, i.e., realizing when you attract somebody into your path, whether this is someone that is there to help reflect to you some of the karmic ripples or stuck emotions or feelings that you have, and finding out and figuring out if you think that that's something that you're ready and willing to sign up for. And yes, that's always going to happen, but a person really needs to love themselves enough and love the other person enough to know whether or not it would be healthy for them to create an equation together, so to speak, because anytime you're in the presence of someone else, you're making pretty much a third energy, and that's quite literal. And then that is what it is that you end up observing, is whatever is created with the two energies that merge. And you have to understand whether or not this is something that looks like it's going to be healthy and beneficial and nurture all of the beautiful gifts and wisdom that can carry me through, and or realize that it is something that is merely a ripple that needs my awareness and needs me to recognize that it no longer serves me in the way that it once did, because it definitely did. There is always something that can be learned in these situations, and at which point we really have to make responsible choices. But all of this being said, I've noticed that it creates like this fear, a block, a wall that is so full of resistance that it's laughable, because it's counterintuitive in so many ways. Mind you, I understand in just saying that every time these situations arise, it gives me an opportunity to address all sorts of different things that lay within me, like the childhood experiences that were the actual root cause of why these were attracted into my presence to begin with. There's so much to learn with each experience that we have. And there's so much love that we have to give. But if we're not able to receive it, then what good does it do? Because it's supposed to be a flow of things, and if we're not receiving it, then we have a block. And then we start having left side pain when our bodies are completely healed. And our body's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you here. We have to love in a wholehearted way, seeing every part of what's going on. We gotta let love in. It was the other day I actually made a pretty profound connection of, despite how much love I have, I really do have a lot of trouble allowing love in. I mean, I have pets, I have my beautiful children, I have the loves in my life that I've had. But it's like I have this certain boundary, certain block that has me not allowing myself to just fully feel their love and the love that they have for me. And it's because I need to work on knowing that I deserve it. I love you.